road for his team.
St. John's in the home white uniforms, South Florida, green on green unis, and we're underway. Laya Flores, she's the point guard. Alicia Jenkins in the drive underneath, and she is a matchup problem. Jenkins with the first bucket, a senior from Statesboro, Georgia.
She's known for her tenacity on the glass, but she can do exactly what we saw in that last possession, put it on the deck and drive.
Sandra Udobi squaring up and shooting over Caitlin Weber, in and out. And Weber the rebound at 6'5".
I
Ferreira.
expect both of these teams to play man-to-man defense. St. John's is in their man right now. USF may play some zone because St. John's is not a great three-point shooting team.
Courtney Williams with her first catch. And that'll be the matchup we'll watch for today. Defended by Aaliyah Hanford to start out, and the travel up high against the sophomore from Portugal, Laura Ferreira. So St. John's will get it back in the early going.
And St. John's defensively forced USF to play late into the shot clock on that possession, and that's what they want to do. They don't want to let USF score early or in transition. They want to make them work to score.
Aaliyah Hanford on the pull-up. Her first look, offensive rebound pulled in by Udobi. A year ago, these two teams met in a game played much more to the tempo of St. John's liking, 55-52 down in Tampa. As Lewis up in the air, called for steps.
The key to that last matchup, Ralph, was that it was a low-scoring game, and that's where Joe Tartamella wants this game to be, low-scoring, where Jose Fernandez wants his team to get up and down and really score the ball, get a pace going in transition.
Flores underneath Williams, and she is called for steps. Already a busy officiating crew, Joe Vasili, Dennis DeMeo, and Norma Jones doing the honors. And Williams, as we saw this morning, she was a major focal point in the St. John's scouting report and shoot-around today.
And both of these teams know that they have explosive scores to keep their eyes on both ends.
Udobi missing from the outside, and on the push is Flores. Flores has become the starting point guard, and the good look to Jenkins. And Ferreira able to rescue that ball from a turnover. Flores coming in off of her best game during the week against Butler, 10 points, sophomore from Spain. Ferreira down to her knees, over to Flores, and another travel. And the Bulls turn it over again.
A couple turnovers, and that's another key, I think, for Jose Fernandez's team. They have to keep their turnover numbers low. They did in their last game against Butler, but that's what St. John's really wants to do, is force turnovers and get offense from their defense. And they also want to get possessions, and that's what South Florida's giving them right now.
And that's a big number. 3 early turnovers by South Florida. They are averaging just 11 on the season. That's good for 4th in the country. Here's another travel against Udobi. Some of the rule changes. First thing you notice is terminology. 4 10-minute periods or quarters like the WNBA and NBA game.
Yeah, it's been a fun and exciting start to women's college basketball as you see some of the rule changes there. You could also advance the ball in the last minute of the game. No more 1-and-1s, 2 shots on fouls once you hit 5 instead of 7, which it was previously.
Another USF turnover, number 4. Aaliyah Lewis to the floater, gets St. John's on the board.
The point guard is so important. Aaliyah Lewis in the attack for St. John's, not a big offensive threat, but she has to make those high percentage looks in the paint.
Williams on the catch. Jenkins skipping.
St. John's being very physical defensively on the cuts.
Flores tried the 3. Weber on the offensive rebound, trying to squeeze it through. Could not, and the rebound knocked loose and picked up there by Hanford. Danaejah Grant, she's the Red Storm's leading scorer in the early season. Aaliyah Lewis rattling in a 3. Ferreira for the response. Got it.
Big shot for Ferreira. Not just looking for her shot, but being aggressive in doing that. We know that Courtney Williams, Alicia Jenkins are going to be the primary targets of the defense, and they need her to loosen up things.
Laura Ferreira, a 40% three-point shooter. Danaejah Grant is off offensive rebound, pulled in by the sophomore, Amani Littleton. So a fresh 30-second shot clock for St. John's. That's among the rule changes we just showed you. Udobi shooting over Weber, knocking it down. First bucket for Sandra Udobi. And Hanford nearly came up with the steal and instead meets the scorer's table.
Sandra Udobi on that last score, number 33 in white, returning to the St. John's lineup, missed all last season with a shoulder injury, was also playing early in her career with a knee injury. She's big, strong, physical, and they're going to need her inside against Weber.
Courtney Williams, her first look. Baseline jumper is off. And here's Danaejah Grant. Chance to run, joined by Hanford. Instead, Grant shooting into Flores, and the foul.
One of the weaknesses I noticed when watching USF is their transition defense. They don't do a great job of getting back and matching up. And Danaejah Grant showing that versatility she's known for around these parts and getting out some hang time and making a mid-air adjustment for the score.
A senior out of Piscataway, New Jersey. She enjoyed her homecoming game last week at Rutgers. The Red Storm picking up a big win. And she's in and out on the free throw.
It was a big win, and as I mentioned in the open, Joe Tartamella challenging his team with their first 3 games on the road, including at Rutgers. And that's always a big rivalry game because a lot of these players are from the New Jersey area.
Williams missed a 3. First shot clock for South Florida. Ferrero off the screen. And the rebound, Hanford skying for it. And now watch her get out and run. In the 3-on-2 behind the back for Lewis. Extra pass in for Littleton, which is called for traveling. Nevertheless, an exciting kind of a turnover. Good start to this one. St. John's 9-5 in Queens.
Courtney Williams and Aaliyah Hanford, and you saw the numbers there, leading their leagues in scoring during different parts of their career, but it's really a lost art, the mid-range game. Players are good at getting to the rim, shooting from the outside, but these two are very explosive and can put up a lot of points in a little bit of time.
And here's Hanford out high defending against Williams, who's started 0 for 2 on the pull-up, and Williams gets on the board. Courtney Williams, a senior from Folkestone, Georgia. She's second in the country in scoring, as we showed you. And one of the nation's most prolific at finishing. There is Danaejah Grant to the rim.
So crafty. She will find the gap in the defense and get to the rim. But what I like best about her finishes is it doesn't have to be perfect. She finishes well going left. She can make adjustments based on the defense.
Hanford knocked it away. Picked up here by Flores. Still 15 to shoot. And Hanford was a little shaken up in the collision, vying for that pass. Appears like she's checking out her right eye.
Yeah, I think she got hit in the eye on that last play. And she also tweaked her ankle in their first game against UCLA and was hobbling with that a little bit. Missed a couple practices. You see the limited minutes that she's recovered. And a player that uses that push off and that explosiveness so often, she needs full use of the ankle.
Springfield with the shot clock at 1 and missing off the back iron. Aaliyah Lewis. So Hanford remaining in the game. Danaejah Grant.
St. John's has found a matchup they like with Danaejah Grant, has Laura Ferrero on her, and the last few times down the floor, even though some in transition, there hasn't been an answer for Grant. Red Storm's leading scorer.
With a fresh shot clock, here's Lewis. Hanford still looking for a first bucket, defended by Williams on this end. Then leaning in, shot off the back. And the rebound here, pushing is Courtney Williams. Chased by Hanford, she'll take the tough floater, that doesn't go. Offensive rebound, Jenkins. Alicia Jenkins stepping through, missed the shot. Jesperson off the USF bench. The rebound and then fouled. For USF, Maria Jesperson off the bench, one of their many foreign players, 6 matter of fact from USF, and you can see all the different countries that are represented in this program. Jesperson going to the line from Denmark, and most of them, LaChina, have played with their junior or senior national level teams. Their parents many times were coaches in the program, so they come from a different background than what we're accustomed to in the NCAA level.
Yeah, Jose Fernandez has done a fantastic job recruiting internationally. He's talked a lot about just the international style and how much he admires it and getting players that have that maturity You know, he also mentioned their adjustment to the rule changes because the changes to women's basketball rules are much like or closer to international standards. They've adjusted well to that transition.
Jesperson making one free throw. And you get a chance to play at times 8 or 9 minutes consecutively with the different timeout rules. On the pull-out there is Hanford for the first time, the senior from Newark.
Nice crossover. Once she gets 2 feet in the paint, you are in trouble. What I love about Hanford's game is she shoots a high percentage for a guard that can take a big volume of shots.
Williams slicing through, offensive foul. Danaejah Grant able to stand in and take it.
That time, the defense for the Red Storm was able to force Courtney Williams into a difficult shot, and that's what you want to do with a player like that. Throw bodies at her, throw different defensive looks. More than anything, try to force her to the rim. Don't let her get to that outside shot that she likes so much.
That's already the 5th USF turnover. Wednesday night against Butler, they only had 5. And now here's a moving screen against St. John's to give it right back. And that's their 4th. So a lethargic start on both ends. 13-8 St. John's. As Joe Tornamello looks on, calling last year's win down at Tampa one of the most significant wins of the season.
Yeah, it's a huge win considering what USF accomplished. Another turnover there. Things are getting messy here in the last couple of minutes for these teams with turnovers, but when you look at the success that Jose Fernandez has and the fact that St. John's was able to go down and beat them at their place, it says a lot for Joe Tartamella's team's toughness, and they've shown that to start this year.
USF last year 27-8, tying a program record in wins. Hanford driving left, elevated and finished.
What a change in speed and change in direction, and that's where I think Aaliyah Hanford can really have success in the WNBA as we look forward to her future. Is she's able to score quickly and she's able to score with a little bit of space and just a little bit of time.
Jesperson. Katie Alaxa, one of those new foreign players, a talented freshman from Latvia just checking in. Alicia Jenkins. Williams rising over Hanford. Jenkins, a ferocious rebounder, just took it away but missed the chippy.
Surprised to see Alicia Jenkins miss a couple right there around the rim.
Grant on the secondary break.
So that's got to be concerned right now for Jose Fernandez. His team is not as in help position off of the drive.
Laxa recovering and drills the 3. Kitty Laxa, also out of the Latvian senior national program, nails her first look to bring the Bulls within 6.
You're talking about a talented freshman. 6 foot, good size, and she's strong.
Grant this time to the fall away.
There hasn't been an answer for Danaejah Grant.
Laxa will try the corner. 2 for 2, Kitty Laxa. The daughter of 2 basketball coaches growing up in Riga, Latvia, and it's translated very well in the first few games of her career.
Not only that, but look at her at 6 foot, taking on the responsibility defensively of 5'5", Aaliyah Lewis.
Lewis spun it off, and the rebound handled by Jenkins. And USF unable to get the final shots.
And contribute. You see the numbers there, 2-pointers versus 3-pointers. And that'll be a big storyline in this game overall is USF has got some outstanding shooters from the outside. They can spread the floor, where St. John's ability to get into the paint and attack off the bounce will really be the thing that they do primarily offensively.
Grant leads all scorers with 8. Hanford has chipped in 4. As the second quarter begins, Danaejah Grant rising over Ferreira. On the rebound, fought for, and Jenkins again able to secure. On the push, Shalithia Stringfield fires the pass into Weber, who finishes.
Great find. Jose Fernandez likes the way that Stringfield pushes the pace. She's quick and also really likes her defensive tenacity. She'll be guarding Aaliyah Hanford here on this possession.
She's a tempo changer. So draws the Bulls within 3 as Hanford defended by Stringfield, and to give it up. Jade Walker shooting over Jenkins. And what a start to her junior year for Jade Walker as she knocks down the jumper.
You see Shalithia Stringfield quickly out into the open court, but then look at Caitlin Weber. She's got size, but she can move, get out in transition, easy finish at the basket. They're going to need good contributions from her, healthy, hopefully, this year on the interior.
We'll be watching for that. Jose Fernandez describing Caitlin. She couldn't move the other night. Wednesday against Butler. Looks fine here as Laxa this time met on the catch by Grant. As Ferreira called for double dribbling. So the problems continue. 7 turnovers by USF. Most of them traveling, but they just don't seem to be comfortable at this juncture.
And one of the challenges is slowing down your pace enough to make the right plays. You can't speed through catching the ball. You can't speed through shooting the ball, or you're going to travel and have turnovers.
And another one off the hands of Walker. 5th for St. John's. So Stringfield just to restore some order out here. Courtney Williams on the bench for USF. She's been held to just 1 bucket. Here comes Laxa. Firing over Grant. Off the back rim, and Hanford with a good box out. And now Lewis looking to push. Grant attacking Laxa. Off the dribble, and the rejection by Jenkins. And then Stringfield is fouled.
And great job of helping by Alicia Jenkins. That's what they've been missing on the interior defensively the last few times down. This time Grant is met with the long outstretched arms of Alicia Jenkins. And you need that presence on the inside because that's where St. John's likes to do their damage on offense.
Alicia listed 6'1", but as she admits, I'm really 5'11". But she plays so much bigger than that. And she has a chance. She's, perhaps by Christmas, she will be USF's all-time leading rebounder.
And she has really blown the records out of the water in terms of her rebounding ability. Hit the 1,000 mark this season. And as you mentioned, is looking to take that record. And she's really a raw player. I remember her coming in as a freshman, just had athleticism, but she's added more skill to that, become even more dependable on the offensive end.
This time Laxa defended by the sophomore from Spain, Crystal Simmons of the Red Storm. There's a chance we could have 4 players from Spain on the court all at once today. 12 to shoot on the pass off the hands of Laxa, picked up by Simmons. Aaliyah Lewis stripped on her way in by Stringfield. Great active hands. And she pushes with Ferreira, taking it in, and the blocking foul against Simmons.
And the official is signaling that the defender was inside of the restricted area. We will take a look at our angle here. Shalithia Stringfield full go. And we couldn't see the left foot there of Crystal Simmons, but we'll take a look from the steal. Good hands there by Shalithia Stringfield going full court. Oh, it might have been the left. It had to have been the left heel because, again, baseline official made a signal that the defender was inside the restricted area.
And that was number 2 on Simmons, so her defensive abilities off the court. And Stringfield at the free throw line brings USF to within 2. Hanford using the screen as the lane opens up. Couldn't convert, and again, Jenkins high in the air with a tremendous box out. Now the push, Courtney Williams back on the court. Can't get that to go. Look at Ferreira on the offensive glass. Weber shooting over Littleton, wild shot, Williams rebounding. And Jenkins will whip it out. Ferreira all alone, missing the 3. Jenkins again relentless on the glass.
This was a problem for St. John's in their loss to UCLA, giving up too many offensive rebounds. But they're a smaller team, but as Leah Hanford and Danaejah Grant told me today, we can't use that as an excuse.
Particularly facing a team with Alicia Jenkins on it. Ferreira with Hanford all over, fired the pass, knocked away by Walker, and picked up by Hanford. Hanford into the lane, and the pass off the hands of Grant.
almost like to see Aaliyah Hanford be a little selfish there and take that shot in the open court. She's got such a nice pull-up, so you just totally avoid the defense, pull up and shoot it.
Williams still held to just 2. Now from the mid-range where she is prolific, and she's fouled by Littleton on the closeout.
St. John's went over how they wanted to play ball screens that involved Courtney Williams today in shoot around, and you have got to get there quick if you are the help in the post.
So USF 8 turnovers, but as we said earlier, 4th in the country, nearly 11 turnovers per game, including coming off of just 5 against Butler. So this for Jose Fernandez is an outlying game.
Yeah, when you have an experienced group, again, they're returning 5 starters from last year. They know each other. The passing, the chemistry is there, but St. John's has done a good job of making them uncomfortable, making USF have to really think about what they're doing on the offensive end.
One more for Courtney Williams. The nation's #2 scorer at 28 points a game. She gets the second.
She's a volume scorer. I mean, she'll put up a lot of shots. And Jose Fernandez said we have got to have more help from her on that end.
Hanford getting baseline.
And that's been open all day. The drive has been open for St. John's pretty much all afternoon, with the exception of good defense by Alicia Jenkins inside.
Williams on the handoff. Shot clock to 10 as Jenkins wants it inside. Shooting over Walker. As it rattles out, the rebound comes down to Hanford midway through this second quarter. Good measuring stick game for both teams. USF ranked number 18, their highest ever ranking. And looking for a really special season. Walker. And an offensive foul. Excellent defense played by Jenkins underneath.
Push off there by Jade Walker. And St. John's has got to get her some touches. She is playing well early in the season, but right now it's Aaliyah Hanford getting to the rack. Getting to the rack, using that explosiveness. But you're right, Danaejah Grant is a big part of what they do for Joe Tartamella's team because how she can attack and her versatility.
Stringfield got a step, drew the whistle. So good minutes here in the first half for the 5th-year senior from Jacksonville, Shalithia Stringfield. 16 fouls already on St. John's, and that's the 3rd on Amani Littleton. So St. John's not deep in the front court, and that may affect them later on. And Stringfield another trip to the free throw line, and she has all 4 of her points today. So here's Udobi returning. Stringfield, someone Jose Fernandez described, she's much better at coming in off the bench and giving us a lift. She's done that with 5. And USF within 1 again. Grant on the kick out. The ball knocked away from Hanford by Stringfield. Off of another turnover. Laxa this time from 2. Rebound far forward, tipped out and away from Jenkins, and here comes Hanford. One-on-one into Stringfield with a great up fake and then finish. That's a playground special.
What a move by Aaliyah Hanford. Left Shalithia Stringfield standing, frozen.
One of those moves, LaChina, you hope nobody's at the park.
That's the feel that this St. John's team has on the offensive end. Kind of that street ball. You've got that quickness, the crossover.
Jenkins shooting over Walker. And Williams fighting for the rebound. And we'll get an over the back call as Danaejah Grant was pushed.
Look at Aaliyah Hanford right here. Just that little nod, that head up as though she was going to explode for the shot. froze the defense. She crossed over and got to the rim. And again, I think she really has next level potential because there are not very many players that can score 1,500 points already in her career. She could hit the 2,000 mark and doesn't shoot the three. She's only hit 3 3-pointers so far in her career.
She needs to only average about 15 points a game this year to reach 2,000, as underneath Grant is fouled. And by the way, that last foul, that was Courtney Williams picking up her second here at the 3-minute and change mark of the second quarter.
Courtney Williams likes to be aggressive on the glass. That's one of the more underrated parts of her game. And on that last possession, got called with that second foul. So now Jose Fernandez will have to go to his bench here and find other options on the offensive end.
Grant on the first. She's got 9, joined the St. John's program, transferring from Clemson early on in her freshman year. So USF, where would they go get points from with Courtney Williams on the bench?
Well, I like the way the freshman Kitty Alaksa has been looking. I wouldn't mind trying to get some shots for her. She's very comfortable right now, but also maybe even get some inside touches for Caitlin Weber.
Shot clock to 6, Laxa on cue. And Lewis on the rebound. Kitty Alaksa came out and knocked down her first 2 threes in a matter of seconds as Grant takes her on and one.
Wow. We are seeing a dribble clinic by St. John's. The inside-out move by Grant in transition. You were talking about her transferring in from Clemson, and her versatility goes back to her high school days where she said she played center. Now, she's only 5'8", 5'9", probably with her basketball shoes on, but she can play inside, outside, high IQ player. Joe Tartamello will be the first to tell you that is the leader of this team, and they depend on her for a lot.
Looks like Hanford will pick up her first, running over Ferreira. Danaejah Grant goes 5'9". She's played a lot of 4. So she has some mismatches on the other end.
That inside-out move, and unfortunately for the freshman, Kitty Alaksa, she is 6 foot, so doesn't quite have the foot speed of the smaller Danaejah Grant, and she took advantage in that possession.
And here is Ferreira rattling out the first. That's her first free throw miss of the season, as Jesperson back in. The Bulls averaging 74 points per game. They put up 63 on the road at Baylor in their only loss. So Jose Fernandez's team, a high-octane offense. They've been held to 23 here late in this first half.
And that's what St. John's has done well. Is their defensive tenacity has been the consistency for this program over many years.
Jade Walker missing the shots. Jenkins, the trailer, thought about it.
I really like the way USF has been running their offense with Shalithia Stringfield in the game at the point.
Laxa couldn't get free, draws help. Stringfield now to the lane, and then she's bumped. Tough shot with the left hand, doesn't go. Alicia Jenkins, and the follow is stripped. And a loose ball battle picked up by Hanford, and eventually secured by Udobi. What a loose ball scrum. St. John's coach Joe Tartamello will use the timeout here with 1:43 to play. And it's been his 2 stars, Danaejah Grant, Aaliyah Hanford leading the way. This time defended by Ferreira. Drives past her underneath. Unselfish look and an easy one for Aaliyah Lewis.
Easy points in the paint for St. John's. They are able to get inside for high percentage looks pretty much at will in this first half.
Stringfield, Jenkins, Jesperson will get a clean look. And the outside shot has not been there for USF. Jenkins is rebounding, though, is always there.
What a great rebound out of position. And then there's Laura Ferreira.
Ferreira with the bucket, but chalk that up to more great effort from Alicia Jenkins.
And you asked about Courtney Williams being out with those 2 fouls early. Well, Laura Ferreira is another place where Jose Fernandez needs to be able to depend on for some points.
Jose Fernandez was adamant that the sophomore from Portugal must do more for USF if they're going to challenge in the American Athletic Conference this year and reach another NCAA tournament, as Jose will use the timeout here late in the first half. St. John's by 6. To China, he took over as an interim coach initially. Congratulations to Jose getting a new contract extension. He'll be in Tampa through the 2020-2021 season as Laxa is off on the 3. And Hanford, the ball came up on her, and she's whistled for carrying.
Got a little excited there, and I think she was trying to figure out if she wanted to pass it or continue in for the shot.
And maybe another playground move.
We like those, right,
Ralph? That's going to help our highlights later. That's the 10th St. John's turnover. Shot clock and game clock even to close out this first half as Jenkins, the turnaround, is fouled this time by Udobi. So more free throws for the Bulls. Just the first on Udobi, but gives us a chance to talk about Alicia Jenkins and her relentless rebounding. And loved how the way Jose Fernandez described her, saying the word relentless was made for Alicia. The word pretty much defining her. And she came from virtually nothing in Statesboro, Georgia, had to fight for everything she's earned and gotten in her basketball career. Been a 4-year starter, and she gets the second.
Yeah, she has a great motor and wasn't a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but has just worked her way with relentless effort on the glass and made that her specialty, gaining possessions for her team.
The foul by Stringfield with 10.9 left. And you see the struggles by USF from the field, 4 of 16 in the quarter. But Jenkins has given them so many extra opportunities with her rebounding. Grant, 7 seconds left in the quarter. Hanford stepping back, line drive is short. Good defense by Stringfield, who lost it, and there'll be no shot at the end. For a big win on the road, but Danaejah Grant has had a big say in that. She leads all players with 12.
Yeah, she was really scoring at will, off of the bounce, getting into the paint, finished with contact, just showing a lot of toughness and helping St. John's in their transition game. We heard Joe Tardamella said we have to continue to attack the rim because they really have the foot speed advantage.
5 of 10 shooting for Danaejah Grant. Look at the first half numbers.
And you see there the turnovers have really hurt USF with the points off turnovers for St. John's at 10. But a big thing to focus on is the 18 points in the paint for St. John's. Jose Fernandez has got to do something different defensively. Not only do they have to get back in transition, but we may see him go some zone.
And Courtney Williams, that's also something different to do. Limited with foul trouble. Williams knocking down just her second bucket. And USF within 2 again.
Well, anytime a star player like Courtney Williams has to spend time on the pine, she's been watching and thinking about that opportunity when she gets back in, and she made the most of it to start the second half.
She was just 1 of 6 shooting in the first half in 11 minutes. So USF a chance to take the lead or tie here in the early going third quarter. And the hands there by Hanford reaching in on Williams. That's going to be number 2 on Hanford.
And you see right away Jose Fernandez runs 2 plays to get his star player going here in the third quarter. She came off of a couple screens there. Hanford's got to be careful not to guard with her hands, but with their feet.
Entry pass off the back of Walker and stolen away by St. John's. Hanford running the floor with Grant, and the shot rolled out. And again, Alicia Jenkins on the glass. That's her 12th rebound. And Ferreira with another USF turnover. We mentioned that. That's 10 turnovers by USF. Their season high is just 17. averaging just 11 turnovers a game, 4th in the country, but they have just not been able to sustain any kind of rhythm.
And notice the change to the lineup for Joe Tartamella. He's going to start Jade Walker here in the third quarter, second half of this game. He mentioned wanting to get more balance, get some scoring out of the post, and Jade can bring it inside and outside.
Especially from the outside. Jade Walker knocks down her second field goal.
What a start to the season Jade Walker has had, shooting the ball so well from the field.
Jenkins, and the offensive foul drawn by Walker. Well, Walker, a junior from Maplewood, New Jersey, talked about her emergence this year where she is ahead of Aaliyah Hanford in scoring, averaging 15 points a game. But remarkably for a face-up post player, LaChina, she's shooting 67% from the field coming in.
Well, she is trying to fill in for some of what Amber Thompson brought to this team last year, but she actually has better scoring prowess, which I think could make this team better in the long run. Another turnover here for USF.
Just remarkable. It's been uncanny for the Bulls as Laya Flores, who just committed it with a double dribble, she's going to exit.
And sometimes with a team that is as aggressive defensively as St. John's, they can speed you up. You start to think a lot because they can close up what looks like an open pass in a very short time.
And Katie Alaxa will come on. Also, Shalithia Stringfield to play the point. And this time Stringfield defending Grant. Lewis getting the defender up in the air and draws the foul. That'll be Jenkins.
I asked Aaliyah Hanford, who was the player that you think will make the biggest difference this year? And she said Aaliyah Lewis. She said she thinks that people underestimate Lewis because she does not put up big numbers on the offensive end, but that she's been working over the summer on her shot, only 5'5", but tenacious defensively, takes very good care of the ball and distributes well.
Lewis off on the first, and St. John's will lead that. The question is, for the team picked to finish second in the Big East, who will complement and help the duo of Grant and Hanford?
And early on, it's been Jade Walker and an improved Aaliyah Lewis.
Lewis with 8 to push the lead to 5. Jenkins in driving on Walker. And that'll be Jade Walker picking up the personal as Jenkins was aggressive. And that'll be number 2 on her.
And that's where Jade Walker has to be smart. Alicia Jenkins is at her best when she's around the basket, getting offensive rebounds and putbacks. So pick your poison when it comes to fouls and where you're going to defend.
Jenkins good on the first. She's the second leading scorer for the Bulls at 11.8, but the turnover issue today for USF, it's continued to pop up, but they have found a way to stay in this game. 2 more free throws by Jenkins, and the free throw line has been a big part of that. As Hanford turns it over, Laxa getting down on the ground. Balanced scoring from the Bulls this afternoon. Jenkins with 6, Courtney Williams been held to 5, Stringfield with 5. Shot clock to 5. Williams met by Walker. Shot clock to 2. Courtney Williams pulling up. And a shot clock violation. Excellent switch in defense by the Red Storm.
And I thought Courtney Williams had time to really create a good shot because she had the mismatch she wanted with a post out on her. Kind of was indecisive with what she wanted to do there.
Williams is season low this year, 23, and that loss to Baylor as she comes up with the interception. Runs the floor, the Jenkins trailer, and she is called for steps. Might have been a charge anyway, and that indecisiveness is plagued the Bulls.
Yes, both teams turning it over. Need to slow down, calm down, get back into the rhythm. Sometimes that third quarter coming out of the locker room is the most challenging time, getting your body back warmed up, getting into a flow.
Lewis turns the corner. Walker, and that has been her spot. Jade Walker.
She told us that she may be listed as a post player, but she's always seen herself as a guard, so she doesn't mind the outside shot. In fact, she invites it.
And now she takes it away from Jenkins. Grant trying to push ahead, and the pass telegraphed and stolen by Stringfield. Williams finally some time to breathe. Back rimming the three, and the rebound falls underneath Caitlin Weber to put it in.
No box out there by St. John's. Good job by Weber using that size. When she's healthy and in this game, she really gives USF a mismatch because there's not a player that has her size on St. John's bench.
Hanford right back with the two. Stringfield to organize. She gave USF great minutes in the second quarter. Williams off the jab step, scores, and it will count.
Now you see what Courtney Williams is capable of. Doesn't take a lot of space or opportunity for her to get a shot off. She gets the switch on the screen, elevates, and the kind of focus that it takes to make a jump shot at that level of elevation with contact, outstanding. That's why she's one of the best in the country.
Third foul on Jade Walker as Jesperson returns. Courtney Williams has a chance to score 2,000 career points. Was on the Wooden Award preseason watch list. And you look deeper and evaluate maybe what makes a player great. A year ago, in 3 games against UConn, Courtney averaged 22 points a game.
And that's not easy to do. As you know, the Huskies traditionally have great defense. Both she and Aaliyah Hanford have had a great deal of success against Connecticut.
Hanford on the other end.
Aaliyah Hanford said one of her favorite players is Allen Iverson, and this is a true Allen Iverson move on the baseline, closing out so the defense cannot get to the basketball. You know, coaches will tell you finish with that left hand, but I understand the importance of the closeness sometimes on same side, closing out your body, turning your body to keep the ball away from the defense. I like that finishes, especially when you're making a quick move to the rim.
Hanford with 12, and St. John's making a living in the paint. Aside from Jade Walker, her spot where she makes a living is just inside the top of the key. Midway through the third, and the lead 5 for the Red Storm, looking for a win over a ranked Bulls program. Underneath the pass stolen by Grant. Hanford again with numbers, this time elevates, and the offensive foul. Stringfield able to stand in, and that's number 3 on Hanford. Timeout on the floor. Good matchup between a couple of star scores. Only on Fox.
Well, that last call, obviously the block chart is one of the hardest to make in college basketball, but this is what I'm looking at here. The defender may not move into the path of an airborne player. That is supposed to be a blocking call, so that was a tough one for the officials, but based on that point of rule clarity, I thought that the defender did move into the path of an airborne player.
And that could be costly because it's number 3 on Aaliyah Hanford, who remains out of the court. Courtney Williams, playing with 3 fouls herself, drills another jumper.
Well, that's what great players do. When your team is on the road and they need baskets, even though the first half was not as if what Courtney Williams would like, she's coming back out slinging.
Udobi here at the elbow. Danaejah Grant shooting over Jenkins. Tough shots.
And Jose Fernandez changed up his defensive assignments in order to slow Grant down, but that didn't change a thing on that possession.
Stringfield. And a charge called. Offensive foul, turnover number 17 by the Bulls. Number 2 on Shalithia Stringfield.
And that time, Grant did get her shoulder square. She was in legal defensive guarding position, and that was the right call.
Udobi. Grant again taking Stringfield off the dribble. Got a defender in the air, and that will count. Danaejah Grant scoring every way this afternoon.
Well, and this is where Danaejah Grant is really an asset, is when she goes to the power forward position. This is a small lineup right now for Joe Tartamella. So when she goes to the 4, she's an automatic mismatch.
Third foul on Alicia Jenkins. And Grant converts the three-point play. And going 5'9", Joe Tartamella over the last couple of years has been harping on Danaejah, becoming that complete player, playing defense, guarding opposing 4s.
Well, Grant said in the offseason she was working on being a better decision maker, and assistant coach Tasha Pointer helped her by watching film. She had an issue with turnovers last season. Alicia Jenkins there with a turnover. And here is Grant sizing up the defense. And you have to pick your poison with her. You have a better defender on her in Shalithia Stringfield, but Alicia Jenkins with the foul, and Grant can take the contact.
Already the 9th USF turnover, the 3rd. As freshman Akina Willaire off the St. John's bench, off on the 3. Up ahead, Jesperson, good catch. Much needed basket for the Bulls as the Red Storm were beginning to pull away.
Smaller lineup in for Jose Fernandez to accommodate Danaejah Grant.
And now we'll get the moving screen against Willaire. That's been another point of emphasis, especially stressing the word stationary. And Willaire got tagged with that call.
That's right, the screener is not allowed to make contact with the defense. You cannot initiate that contact and displace a defender at any time with the screen.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Williams into the rise. That time Lewis was defending. Hanford, baseline drive. Out of the corner, Danaejah Grant. And a long rebound tapped out by Stringfield. Ahead, Jenkins missed the layup, but there is Williams to clean up.
When your best player doesn't give up on a play, Courtney Williams refused to sit back while everyone else was behind half court. She cleaned up the miss.
And how about the tap by Stringfield to get it started? Hanford lost it. She taps it out to Grant.
Leah Hanford has been out of rhythm.
And a big block by Williams on Simmons with just 7 to shoot.
I love what I'm seeing for Courtney Williams right now, taking over on both ends of the floor. Take a look at the drive, and guess who is there? None other than the preseason All-American, Courtney Williams.
Lewis, 3 to shoot, will let it go. And the ball getting stuck. That's an alternating possession arrow, but it's a St. John's break, they'll keep it.
Going back to that last opportunity here, you have your 2 seniors. Alicia Jenkins misses, but Courtney Williams knows the importance of hustle on the road when you're trying to get a big win.
Williams finally to double fingers with 11. But she's had to work hard for it, trying to lead the Bulls to a big road win.
So a reset on the shot clock off the possession arrow for St. John's. Hanford, she's frustrated. She has had a difficult 3rd quarter.
Williams turns it over again, a bit out of control. Leaking ahead is Hanford, leaving it for Grant. Wow! Then the answer right back for the Bulls, the silencer.
Right now, the pace of this game is up and down, and that favors USF.
Foul underneath as Grant got great position.
Dropping dimes, Leah Hanford to Danaejah Grant. Grant so good at initiating the contact at the rim She uses her body so well to fend off the defense, and Hanford's got to get in a rhythm here for St. John's.
Grant up to 20. As Laura Ferrero, who's been on the bench for much of this third quarter, returns for the Bulls.
We're struggling with some of the turnovers in this game. So Jose Fernandez letting her get a seat, get a breather. She's back out there. Courtney Williams will get a much-deserved rest.
I imagine we'll see her for the bulk, if not the entirety, of the fourth.
And USF has been good in third quarters. So they've struggled in starts of game, but third quarters, they've been good.
Here's Ferrero off the screen. Extra look, Jenkins, one more pass. Jesperson missed it. Stringfield, shot clock turned off, so USF can hold for the final look. Stringfield with 6, driving on Lewis. Shot no. Read on far 4, and Udobi wrestles it away from Jenkins. 9 points by St. John's have come from Hanford, Grant, and Jade Walker.
And Jade Walker has really been limited in her touches in this game, but efficient. 3 of 5 from the field. And I'll tell you this, Danaejah Grant was the difference in the game last year, as Jose Fernandez told us, from the three-point line. And this year, it's really been in the paint, getting inside, taking contact, and getting high percentage looks around the rim.
A year ago, Grant and Hanford accounted for 42 of the 55 points the Red Storm scored down in Tampa to get the win.
And 55 is a key number. I think St. John's in this fourth quarter has got to keep this score low. They cannot let USF score big. They had 30 points against Butler in the fourth quarter.
Laxa missed a 3, but the Bulls a second chance. Williams this time defended by Grant. Laxa off the screen. And the rebound far 4, it's Ferreira coming out of traffic with it.
Plus 11 on the glass at that last break for USF. That could be the difference in this game.
And Ferreira on the miss. She'll get caught for the foul, battling Grant. A good effort from the 5'11" sophomore forward. Ferreira picking up number 2. First team foul of the fourth quarter. Again, the new rules. It's 2 shots once you hit 5 team fouls per quarter.
And I love the reset, because if we were in a second half, we could already be in the 1-and-1. But because the fouls reset for the fourth quarter, we won't be headed to the free throw line every time we blink an eye.
Udobi shooting over Jenkins. Got that to go. Sandra Udobi.
Big minutes for Udobi. And Joe Tartamella pulled Jade Walker because of some foul trouble there. A couple of quick ones in the third quarter, and Udobi has filled in nicely.
Williams using the screen, elevating over Udobi, in and out. And the rebound tapped out to Lewis. So Courtney Williams, 5 of 14 shooting. To the crossover, and a great read by Stringfield. Hanford will let her go, and Sky in for the lay-in.
Good job by Stringfield. She has really been active on the defensive end. I can see why Jose Fernandez says we need her energy off the pine, because she's a game changer.
She has 9 points, a season high off the USF bench. Hanford into Stringfield, who commits the foul.
Stressing again, small lineups for both teams. Here's Shalithia Stringfield in the open court, good finish. This is a good matchup for her because she's got quickness, speed, she can pressure the ball, a lot like St. John's style of play.
LaChina, she just picked up her 4th though. And she'll be vital for the Bulls to stay in and defend Hanford. As Aaliyah hits the first one, she's at 13 points. So perhaps a quandary right now for Jose Fernandez. He's going to pull Stringfield in favor of the sophomore and Laya Flores, and try to buy some minutes.
What you hope happens is you make shots and you can get back and get into a zone.
Lead to 8. St. John's led by as many as 9 in the first half. Williams lining up the 3. And Udobi lost the rebound. Might have been a force from Courtney Williams, but as you spoke about, a volume shooter trying to get herself going.
Yeah, I mean, and you want her to take shots. She hasn't taken nearly as many as we have seen her in previous games up until this point, and some of that because of the foul trouble in the first half.
Williams over Grant. Shoot when you're hot, shoot to get hot.
She takes contact, and that elevation, she shoots that shot at the highest peak.
Simmons with 10 to shoot. And Grant on the entry. Baseline drive, got underneath and inside of Flores.
I mean, she just makes a way out of no way. She is determined to score. When she gets that close, you can't keep her away from the cup.
Williams got free from Lewis and buries a second jumper.
It makes you pay. She's in a zone. What a second half for Courtney Williams.
12 of her 15 have come here the half. Williams struggled with fouls in the first half. Hanford with Williams defending. That one rolling off. Laxa nearly picked up the pivot foot.
Ball back in Williams' hands again.
And we've got a foul. If this is Hanford, that's number 4.
Courtney Williams just uses that contact to find her balance, and look at how high that follow-through is. When she elevates, if your hand is not already in your face, bang, she cannot see it, and it's going in for 2.
And here is the window for South Florida. Aaliyah Hanford, Lachina, just picked up her 4th. And after looking like she'd be leaving, we'll have a timeout before the inbound. It appeared Joe Tartamella was going to pull Hanford here early. 6:06 to go in the 4th quarter for the freshman Wallaire. We'll see what happens when we come back. China, she's come alive in the second half. 12 of her 15. And she has been asking for the ball the last couple of times down.
And Joe Tartamella has been putting Aaliyah Lewis, who is a smaller but pesky defender, to get into Courtney Williams. Not as tall, though, so she has to make up for it closing into space.
Laxa and fouled with 11 to shoot. Both Littleton and Wallaire trying to defend her. That'll be Wallaire picking up her 3rd. So Kydia Laxa, who came in, knocked down a couple of threes, but has not scored since.
Yeah, not as many touches as I would have thought for her with the way she started out early on in this game. And I think that's one thing we'll see more of. I mean, it's difficult because she is a freshman, and I think St. John's has done a good job of keeping bodies on her when she started to get hot. But look for her to come on strong for this USF team as the season goes on. I think she's got tremendous talent.
A 5-star recruit by New Star Europe. And going to be a wonderful player in the AAC. She brings the Bulls within 5.
And there we see, again, that zone look on the interior from USF. They're going to try to force the outside shot and close down the paint offensively for St. John's.
Williams crossing over Lewis, got into the lane and scores again.
No answer for her. Scoring at will. That's why she's an All-American.
A 2-time AP honorable mention All-American. Grant off the screen. Past Ferreira all the way to the basket and one.
USF back in their man-to-man guarding, and I love the dribble weave offense here for St. John's. And instead of reversing it there, Danaejah Grant goes back strong side, and she has been unstoppable off of the bounce. But it's Courtney Williams' show here in the second half.
Ralph Bednarczyk, number 18, South Florida, looking for a resume-building win on the road. But Danaejah Grant has poured in now 26 as she completes a three-point play. The lead is 6. Laxa got free. And she's missed her last 7. Grant the rebound.
Guard rebounding is going to be critical for St. John's with the way that USF has attacked the glass. Minus the foul trouble, of course. They've got to get there.
USF is still plus 13 in rebounding for the game. Here comes Danaejah Grant with 5. Off the spin dribble, Jade Walker. And she's called for steps.
And Danaejah Grant comes up hobbling. I didn't see what happened there, but she's stretching out, looks like that left leg as she comes back down the floor.
See the turnover numbers. It's a season high 19 by South Florida. But they're still in this one with that sizable rebounding advantage. Stringfield back in the court playing with 4. Courtney Williams again shooting over Lewis. And Courtney Williams has been on fire in the second half. She's now 8 of 13.
I think you've got to deny her. You've got to deny her the basketball. Leah Lewis not tall enough to get in her vision, and Hanford's got some foul trouble.
15 to shoot. Coming up on 3.5 to go in the fourth. Littleton, the sophomore, out high. Grant with 4 on the clock. Offensive rebound, Walker. Walker bulldozing her way through Ferreira.
Wow. We did not see that type of aggressiveness from Jade Walker last season. Now, towards the end of the year, she did play strong, but this is a whole nother beast coming to look for us. We have to respond with our toughness, and they have in this game with this comeback.
She had a great experience with the Team USA World University Games team over the summer. It's taken her to even greater heights. Williams this time shut off on the screen. Alicia Jenkins. Courtney Williams with 5 to shoot. And the pass deflected by Hanford. Off the steal, Hanford will take it past Williams.
Aaliyah Hanford, excellent defensively on that last possession, led to the score.
Williams trying to make up for it. There is Jenkins on the offensive glass and 1.
Everyone getting into a rhythm of what they do best, and that's what Alicia Jenkins does. Aaliyah Hanford played off Shalithia Stringfield there, understanding the importance of guarding Courtney Williams, and then got out into the open court. Offense from defense is big for St. John's, and that play was great from Hanford.
Jenkins converting. She's on the verge of a double-double, 9 points, 15 rebounds, but the Bulls just turn over for the 20th time. Again, look at the season average, 4th in the country. Last year, not shabby either at 15. Hanford, a step around and through.
Ralph, that is all playground right there from Hanford.
She gave us a glimpse back in the first half. And another move that, if you're a defender, you hope nobody else is at the park watching, seeing you get embarrassed.
Get embarrassed, straight up embarrassed.
Stringfield, extra pass, Laxa. And Hanford steps in front again. Williams chases and blocks her. Denies her the layup. And then back, short on the 3. And these two stars going at one another One-on-one here in the final 2 minutes as Lewis fouls Williams.
Aaliyah Hanford thought she was cleared to the basket, but look at that vertical from Courtney Williams. She got up, and not only did she get up, but she got back to contest. Wow, what a big defensive play. You love players that can score, but also get back to defend.
It's become more than just business. It's personal between the two. Williams shooting off for Grant, sticks to three. Timeout, USF. The lead has been trimmed to 4. And this entire second half, Courtney Williams has had that look in her eye.
She has been a woman possessed. She's only made 4 3-pointers so far on the season. But that's a big one for Courtney Williams, and can't say enough about her performance in the second half of this game.
During this timeout, there is also an officials review taking place. And it's whether or not Courtney stepped over the line is indeed, I'd imagine, going to be called a 3. Look very clear on our first replay. So Williams, who came in just 4 of 14 from 3, that has not been her primary part. She buries that one, clearly leading the Bulls. This is a glimpse of the expectation she has in her mindset, LaChina. She said coming into the year, the expectation for the season for South Florida is reaching the national championship game. Feeling that if you don't think you're going to go that far, you shouldn't be playing basketball.
It should be the goal for every team. No matter how unrealistic some people's dream may be, but not unrealistic at all for USF when they're playing at their best.
Hanford driving past Stringfield and fouled in the air.
Aaliyah Hanford using her quickness to force the issue at the rim. And that's really where they've had the advantage, is getting into the paint, scoring around the rim with their guards off of dribble penetration.
Hanford with 11 of her 19 in the second half. She joins Grant with 20 points. Coming up on a minute to go, Williams will try another 3. Knocking it down, back-to-back threes.
Wow. St. John's is not even close to shutting her down right now.
She's erupted and brought USF within 66-63. Hanford past Stringfield again to the basket. And a timeout, St. John's.
She's just a blur. Shalithia Stringfield had no chance, and the help could not get there quickly enough. I mean, when you're as fast as Aaliyah Hanford, the help has to be already in rotation. She doesn't see you coming.
So she has 22, perhaps inspired by what Courtney Williams has done on the other end. We have a heck of a finish here with 47.7 seconds left. St. John's and South Florida each at 3-1 in the season. For the Red Storm, what a victory it would be for them in terms of a resume-building victory.
Yeah, I mean, look at the only loss they have on the season is to UCLA, a team that took number 3 Notre Dame to overtime yesterday. So, and that was on the road at UCLA. So you get a win here for St. John's against a ranked team, and it means everything. Good showing so far this year by the Big East.
And you are a AP Top 25 voter. USF just used a 30-second timeout. So even though here we are, the final days of November, these games matter ahead of March and Selection Monday. USF a year ago reaching the NCAA tournament as an at-large out of the American Athletic. Here in the Big East, they're hoping for multiple teams St. John's in the middle of the pack here, 3-1, but these are just non-conference games so far. As we talked about the half, Seton Hall has had a tremendous start. And inside the American, of course, you expect Connecticut to be up there. East Carolina was the preseason #3, playing very well.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously you're always staring at the Connecticut Huskies there at the top, but going back to those Big East stand-ins, as we saw Creighton and their record there, we just want to send a shout out of love to Marissa Janning, who suffered a fractured fibia and is out a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks. So definitely a blow for Creighton, but we're praying for Janning's quick recovery.
Williams missing the 3. And then Courtney Williams the steal. The partial block by Walker, recovery by Ferreira. Jenkins shoots over Grant, short. And the battle for the rebound will stay with USF with 25.5 left. A couple of ferocious loose ball battles. Laxa, way off, it would have been a 3. There's Ferreira though to clean up.
Offensive glass has been good for USF. Now St. John's has got to get it in, take care of the ball, make free throws.
Jenkins had to commit it on Hanford. And now the St. John's star senior, the Big East preseason player of the year, to try to make it a 2-possession game. And again, it's the 15th foul on South Florida. There is no 1-and-1, it's 2 shots. Missed the second offensive rebound, Grant, and the Bulls had to foul her.
That is all hard. That is all hard from Danaejah Grant. But you're going up against the #6 rebounder in college women's basketball in Alicia Jenkins. And Danaejah Grant at 5'9" with her basketball shoes on did not back down.
That was the 5th and final foul on Shalithia Stringfield, so Flores replaces her. Grant for 2.
You see the numbers there by Danaejah Grant. What you don't see with that 26 points is efficiency.
And the timing of her baskets seemed to be perfect, just when the Red Storm needed something.
Free throws have been St. John's Achilles heel. They're not a great free throw shooting team, and as much as they get fouled and get there, they're going to have to make them this season.
The second one makes it a 5-point lead. Timeout, South Florida. So still 18 seconds to go. Still so much that can occur. Red Storm looking to make it 4 in a row, and they've been led by their 2 star scorers that have combined for 50 of their 70 points. USF has never won here in Queens in the 10th all-time meeting, going back to when USF was in the Big East and experienced some pretty good success while they were in the league, including going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 2006. Next foul will also put USF at the free throw line on the other end, so some options to play with for Joe Tornamella, perhaps to try to prevent the 3-point shot.
And you're going to have to just make sure you make smart decisions on both ends at this point. Time is on your side if you're St. John's. But really impressed. I mean, 70 points for St. John's to get there against this USF team. I thought this score would need to be between 55 and maybe at the most 65, but really in the low 60s. So kudos to St. John's and the way they've scored the ball, because they did struggle a little against Marist.
They've done that at the free throw line in particular, which are 7 of 9 in the 4th quarter. And that's been one of their Achilles, as you mentioned, this season and the last several years. 18 seconds left. And Jenkins quickly back for Ferreira. And Ferreira will take the easy layup. And now Walker to try to get it in. Gets it to Lewis, and Flores has to commit the instant foul. Sends the junior from Staten Island to the free throw line, where she's 64% on the season. A year ago, 66%. 1 of 2 today. Once again, no more one-on-one situation, so it's 2 shots for Lewis. Two big ones. Lead to 5. As Williams pushes ahead, fires again to 3. She got another! Up ahead, Lewis leaking out.
What a play by Jade Walker. Heads up play by Jade Walker to get that over the top. Sometimes the best answer for pressure defense like that full court is to make a quick decision to get it in before the defense can get set, and that over the top pass was big.
More critical free throws for Aaliyah Lewis with 4.7 left. Especially the way Courtney Williams has shot the ball from deep. This game is far from over. Now to make it a 2-possession game. Lewis gets there, 74-70. Williams with 3. Fires again to 3. It's short. It's a resume-building win for the St. John's Red Storm. They hang on 74-70.
Big win for Joe Tartamella's team. You look at the leadership of Danaejah Grant, Aaliyah Hanford, not a perfect night, but definitely was there when they needed her. Then